All right. Why not? Come on up here. Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't you want to come up here if you could?
I have no idea. Maybe because the poster's in the way.
The poster's the big deal.
Help me.
Oh
my
that.
God,
I
I can't see. I'm going to run into this dress. Let me jump.
Are you
I can't move.
Oh, my God.
I can't get up on the stage. Oh,
there
my God.
There you are.
Lord.
Okay. Why not?
Oh, my God. Well, it's just appropriate
teacher,
that I'm
yes.
following Roger because he's got the porn, and I'm going to talk about the IRS because it's tax month. And if you want to get fucked, the IRS will do it.
Yeah.
The post office just recalled their newest stamps. They had pictures of IRS agents on them, and people couldn't figure out which side to spit on. How are an apple and an IRS agent alike?
Now.
They both look good hanging from a tree. If a lawyer and an IRS agent were both drowning and you could only save one of them, would you go to lunch or read the newspaper? Anyhow, the IRS decided they were going to audit Grandpa and summons him to the IRS office. And the auditor wasn't surprised that Grandpa came with his attorney. And the auditor says, look, you got this extravagant lifestyle. You got no full-time employment. And you explain all this by saying you win a lot gambling. The IRS finds this not too believable. Gramps says, I'm a great gambler. I can prove it. How about a demonstration? The auditor thinks for a minute. He's, all right, go ahead. So Grandpa goes, I'll bet you $1,000 I can bite my own eye. The auditor's like, that's stupid. It's a bet. So Grandpa takes his glass eye out and he bites it. And the auditor, he's just like, oh, shit. Grandpa says, I'll bet you $2,000 I can bite my other eye. And the auditor knows that Grandpa's not blind, so he says, sure, I'll take the bet. So Grandpa takes his dentures out and bites his good eye. The auditor's really stunned, and he's like, oh, God, I'm fucked. So he's got Grandpa's attorney there as a witness, so he's getting really nervous. And he goes, you want to go double or nothing? And Grandpa goes, all right, I'll bet you $6,000 I can stand on one side of your desk and piss in that wastebasket on the other side and not get a drop anywhere in between. Well, the auditor's been burned twice, so he's really cautious, but he looks and he's like, oh, there's no way this old guy can do this stunt. So he says, okay. So Grandpa stands beside the desk. He unzips his pants. He strains mightily, but he can't even reach the wastebasket, not even anywhere close. He pisses all over the desk. The auditor leaping up with joy, screaming and yelling, oh, yay! He's just got a huge win out of a major loss. But Grandpa's attorney's moaning with his head in his hands. The auditor's like, are you okay? And the lawyer's like, not really. This morning when Grandpa told me he'd been summoned for an audit, he bet me $25,000 he could come in here and piss all over your desk and you'd be happy about it. What did the terrorists that hijacked a jumbo jet full of IRS agents do?
What?
He threatened to release one every hour if his demands weren't met. What do you call 25 IRS agents buried up to their chins in cement?
A good day.
Good thing.
Not enough cement. What do you call 25 skydiving IRS agents? Skeet. What do you throw to a drowning IRS agent?
A brick.
His co-workers.
Right.
My sister's witness to that. She's an IRS agent. What's brown and looks really good on an IRS agent?
Shit.
A Doberman.
Put the dog.
And what's the difference between an IRS agent and a mosquito? One's a blood-sucking parasite, the other's an
There's a
insect.
mosquito.
All right, so at the end of the tax year, the IRS office sent this inspector to audit the books in this hospital. And while the agent's checking the books, he turns to the CFO of the hospital. He goes, I noticed you buy a lot of bandages. What do you do at the end of a roll when there's too little left to be of any use? Good question, noted the CFO. We save all of them up and we send them back to the bandage company, and every once in a while they give us a free roll. Oh, the auditor was disappointed. But he went on obnoxiously. Well, what about all these plaster purchases? What do you do with what's left over after you set a cast on a patient? Oh, the CFO says. He was realizing that he was trying to trap him with an unanswerable question. And he said, we save all the plaster that's left over. We send it back to the manufacturer. Every so often they give us a free bag of plaster. I see, said the auditor, thinking hard about how he can fluster the CFO. He goes, well, then what do you do with all the remains from circumcision surgeries? And the guy goes, oh, we don't waste there either. We save all the little foreskins and we send them to the IRS office. And about once a year they get a complete...
Yeah, I got pull up at 9 and go to exercise.
Hello. You gotta fix somebody's voice.
And then she gets up at 3:30.
Somebody at the train station?
No, it's not you. Hold on one second. Let's find out who this is. Somebody's got their voice.
Let's hear who it is.
It's Life Rose Girl.
It's Life Girl Rose. Life Girl Rose, you're just chatting away here without paying any attention.
Just turn her down.
I'll get rid of her.
Turn her
It's all
down.
right. It's all right. EJ, goodbye. Have a good day. So long. Goodbye.
I like to eject people. I wanted to do it.
She's still here somewhere. We have to
I
ban
can still
her.
hear her.
Guess what? Me too. Oh, she's back again.
All right.
There we go.
Oh,
maybe
why?
Okay, she's all right now. Okay, go ahead.
Phew.
Billy stopped Patty in Dublin, and he says, what's the quickest way to Cork? And Patty goes, are you on foot or in the car? And Patty goes, I'm in the car. And Patty goes, Hep, that's the quickest way. An Irishman, an Englishman, and a Scotsman sitting in a bar in Sydney, and the view's fantastic. The beer's great. The food's fantastic. But the Scotsman says, I still prefer my pubs back home. In Glasgow, there's this little bar where the owner goes out of his way for the locals, and when you buy 4 drinks, he'll buy the 5th. And the Englishman says, well, at my bar, the owner buys your 3rd drink after you bought the first 2. The Irishman goes, that's nothing. Back home, there's this bar where the moment you set foot in the place, they'll buy you a drink, and they keep them coming all night, and then when you had enough to drink, they take you upstairs and see you get laid, all on the house. The Scotsman and the Englishman, they're just like doubting his claims. Well, said the Englishman, did this actually happen to you? Well, not myself personally, said the Irishman, but it happened to my sister. What'd the sign outside the whorehouse say? Beat it, we're closed.
Ooh.
What do you say to a blind whore? I just gotta hand it to you. That's This new husband arrived home with a big bouquet of flowers. His bride met him at the door. She saw the flowers and she fell down the floor, spread her legs in front of him. This is for the flowers, she said. Oh my God, don't be silly, he said. I'm sure we've got a vase somewhere. Yeah, this trio of burglars broke in a pharmacy and they stole all the Viagra. The cops are out looking for 3 hardened criminals.
Pretty good.
On George the milkman's last day of his job, he had 35 years carrying the mail through all kinds of weather in the same neighborhood. And so he got to the first house and he was greeted by the whole family and they congratulated him and gave him a gift envelope. At the second house, they gave him a box of really great cigars, Cubans. The third house gave him great fishing lures. And the fourth house, this gorgeous blonde woman in a revealing negligee met him, and she took him by the arm, took him upstairs to the bedroom, blew his mind with the most passionate love he'd ever had. And when he'd had enough, they went downstairs. She made a huge breakfast of eggs, potatoes, ham, sausage, blueberry waffles, fresh squeezed juice. And when he was truly satisfied, she poured him some steaming hot coffee. And he saw this dollar bill sticking out underneath the cup's edge. And he goes, man, this was too great for words, but what's that dollar for? She said, well, last night when I told my husband you were on your last day, I said, well, what can we do special? And he said, well, fuck him, give him $1. Breakfast was bad, yeah. This woman dies and goes to heaven, and while she's waiting in line, she hears this horrible screaming and moaning. she's kind of disturbed, so she finds St. Peter, and she's like, what's going on? And he says, oh, that's just the woman in front of you. They're drilling the holes in her back to put her wings on. The woman is a little upset by that, and she's thinking about her position. She hears a screaming starting up again, and this time it's more blood-curdling than before. So she finds St. Peter again, and she's like, what's happening now? And he goes, well, it's nothing. They're just drilling the holes in her head to put the halo on. And the woman decides she wants the hell out of there, and she tells him she changed her mind. She wants to go to hell. He goes, are you sure you want to go there? This is horrible. You're going to end up getting sodomized, raped, even worse. And the woman goes, that's okay. I already got the holes for that. At the doctor's office, the doctor says, look, you've only got 1 week to live. And the man's like, oh, my God, what on earth are you saying? He's all shocked. What can I do to live just a little longer? The doctor says, well, do you eat fried food? And the guy says, yeah. The doctor goes, you got to stop. Well, if it's so I can live more, I'll do it. And the doctor goes, all right, do you eat fat food? And the man goes, well, yeah. The doctor's, you got to quit. If it's so I'll live more, okay. And the doctor goes, now do you stay up late? And the guy goes, yeah. He goes, you got to quit that too. The man says, well, if I'm going to live longer. And the doctor's like, do you have sex very often? The man says, oh, yes. You got to stop. And the man goes, well, all right, if it's so I'll live more, I'll do that too. Doctor says, do you smoke? And he goes, yeah. Just cigars. And the doctor goes, you got to quit that too. The guy goes, well, if I'm going to live longer, doctors, do you drink? And the man goes, yeah. And the doctor goes, you got to quit that too. Okay, doctor, but you didn't tell me if I do all these things. You told me how much longer will I live? The doctor says, you're still going to live for just a week, but it's going to seem like a whole century. Sid and Irv are business partners, and they make a deal that whoever dies first will contact the other one from the afterlife. So Irv dies. And Sid didn't hear from him for about a year, figures that there's no afterlife. And then one day, he gets a call, and it's Irv. So there's an afterlife. What's it like? Sid asked him. Well, I sleep really late. I get up. I have a huge breakfast. I have sex, lots of sex. Then I go back to sleep, but I get up for lunch. I have a big lunch. Then I have some more sex. I take a nap, a huge dinner, more sex, go to sleep, wake up the next day. Oh, my God, said Sid. So that's what heaven's like? Hell no, said Irv. I'm not in heaven. I'm a bear in Yellowstone Park. Well, you know, I'd like to believe in reincarnation. And if there is reincarnation, I want to come back as my own dog. I could sleep in anytime I want, nap any time of the day, go out and play. Anytime I have an urge, I'll have my own private doggy door. My meals will be prepared for me. No more cooking, no more dishes. I don't have to worry about how I look or what I'm wearing when I go out. No more bills. My only direct deposit would be in the yard. I don't have to go to school, and if I were forced to, I'd get a treat for every task I performed. And the world would be my whole bathroom. No more need for scrubbing bubbles. Any licenses I need would be taken care of for me. Oh, my God. I could hump anytime I want with no repercussions. I don't need birth control. I'd either be spayed by my owner or neutered or whatever. And any illegitimate kids I have would be adopted out or taken care of. Think about it. Wouldn't it be wonderful? No child support, never get married, never get divorced. It'd be so simple. What do you get when you cross an insomniac, an agnostic, and a dyslexic? Someone who lays awake at night wondering if there really is a dog. That's what I want. Well, this MIT linguistics professor's lecturing, and he goes, in English, a double negative forms a positive. But in some languages, like Russian, a double negative remains negative. But there's not one single language, not one, where there's a double positive expressing a negative. And from the back of the room, a voice goes, yeah, right. Two antennas met on a roof, fell in love, got married, and the ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent. It's not that the man didn't know how to juggle, he just didn't have the balls to do it. There once was a cross-eyed teacher who couldn't control his pupils. And last but not least, as she lay dozing next to him, a voice inside his head kept saying, "Relax. You're not the first doctor to sleep with one of his patients." But then this other voice kept saying, "Howard, you are a veterinarian." Thank you very much.